So often we think about, well, what's the most important thing? What's the main thing that we really need to be focusing on as believers? Well, in Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 4, it says, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. You shall love the Lord your God with all of your heart, with all of your soul, and with all of your strength. And these words which I command you today shall be in your heart. You shall teach them diligently to your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. You shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. You shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates." So interesting. And so what's the most important thing? What's the main thing? Well, fascinatingly, this is from God's heart. Here's the most important thing. Here's the center of everything. Shema. That's the Hebrew word for to hear. Hear, O Israel. God says the most important thing, it's this. Hear, O Israel, the Lord your God is one Lord. That's the great foundational statement of monotheism. You got one God, not like all of those other nations with a multiplicity of gods. There's no pantheon. No, there's one God. And here's what our one God wants. He says, I want you to love me with all of your heart, with all of your soul, with all of your mind, with all of your strength. And he says, I want you to teach that also to your children. Listen, the next generation, they are gone without this truth. It's not Sunday school's responsibility. It's not the Christian school's responsibility. Listen, the responsibility is the parents to teach their kids that there is one God and that He is a God that loves us and wants our love as well. You got to teach that because, listen, as they look at the media and as they look at the world around them, it wants to contradict that very truth. No, you got to talk about it when you sit down in your house. I mean, think about all the different things that you do when you sit down in your house. But when you sit down in your house, when you rise up in the morning, you got to talk to your kids. When you put them down at night, you need to pray with them. You got to tell them about God's love for them and how He longs for their heart. That's the main thing.